following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
What is up, everybody, and welcome into another episode of the Uptempo Podcast. I'm your host, Blake Lane, here tonight with my co-host, Dustin Smith. And like always, we are here to talk a little Auburn baseball. Dustin, my man, we get a 3-game series sweep of Lipscomb at Plainsman Park, man, in front of a packed-out crowd. And look, man, we only had to suffer one on the radio this week, so we're getting a little better, Dustin. All right, we're getting a little better, man. But hey, these were some solid games. Auburn had to fight from behind. Auburn had a walk-off in Game 2 by the hands of Ike Irish, and then Game 3, Bryson Ware, how do you do, big fella? Coming through with a clutch home run in the 8th. And he also did it Saturday night, Dustin. So Bryson Ware is him. He is that dude. He's hotter than ever right now, man. Somebody called the fire department and put the guy out because he is on a roll, man. And Game 1 was really the Chase Alsop show, if we're being honest, out of the pen, man. Coming out of the pen usually has been making those Friday night starts and comes out of the pen and look damn good, Dustin. So just right off the rip, man, off the top, let's talk about this 3-game set and just get your immediate thoughts of this Auburn baseball team and their performance from this past weekend.
Well, it was the most impressive series because I think Lipscomb's the best team we played. The guy that pitched Sunday, man, he was dealing. The guy that we faced Friday was dealing for a while. And then I thought that Friday night was our best pitching performance overall. And you talked about because we gave up 7 hits, 3 runs, and 3 walks total, struck out 14. And again, John Armstrong comes in and just any trouble that we're in, I'm gonna get you out of this, guys, and his money picks up the win. And you talked about Chase, and I think we see the guys that are starting this week. Tommy Vale's gonna get to go again tomorrow, and then this weekend hasn't been confirmed, but a pretty reliable source on the bulletin boards has put out who is probably going to go this weekend, and no Chase Alsop. So does that mean he's going back to the pen? I don't know. I'll say this about his performance. He looked a lot. That's the most comfortable he looked this year. I mean, he was coming out and he was throwing freaking gas, bro. Like there wasn't no hesitation. He wasn't wasting no time. He was tipping off the mound. None of that. It was giving me that ball, bang, 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 and that was good to see. And just because his stuff hasn't necessarily been there either. And maybe he's just not a starter. You know what I mean? And that's fine because you look at a game like Saturday and we need some arms in the bullpen. And here's the thing too. You're winning these series and this time you get a sweep without using Gonzo. So, and rumor has it that he's going to come out the pen this weekend so they can be ready to start when we kick up in the SEC play versus Arkansas this coming the following weekend. So, to get these wins without your best pitcher, I'm all for it.
I love that, man. Well, look, let's start Game 1, man. Auburn gets the dub 7-3, and let's talk Tanner Bauman, man. He gets the start, and I thought he pitched really well, man. Look, he went 3 2/3. Got us into the 4th inning with 2 outs, ran into a little trouble, but had 5 Ks, gave up 4 hits and only 1 run. And John Armstrong come in right there in that inning. Sits the guy down, man. John is just on another level right now, man. And this is exactly what we expected out of him. But the slide king, man, I mean, he is ridiculous. And that run on that fastball is just exceptional stuff. But Chase also, like we mentioned, really stole the show coming out, relieving John Armstrong the last 3 innings of the game. Gave up 1 run, 1 hit. 2 walks and 5 Ks. So he looked really, really impressive, man. And like you mentioned earlier, the stuff looked like it was there. Okay, we know the fastball and what it's going to do. We know he's going to run it up to 95, 96 consistently. And he looked damn good at the pen. So does he stay there? Right now, it's looking like he might end up just being that guy out of the pen and middle relief. And these 3 guys, man, this was big for Auburn to only have to use 3 guys in this first game. And they only allowed 7 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, and they had 14 Ks, man. All right. And one big impressive thing that I wrote down in the notes, Dustin, was 2 of 3 of Lipscomb's runs come from solo home runs, man. All right. From the same guy. I believe it was their catcher.
They had some guys that tore us up.
Yeah. Hey, they're a damn good ball team, man. They
are.
really are. Don't see them. They took 2 out of 3 from Notre Dame in their first series in the year, man. So they're a damn good ball team, and I was really, really impressed. Their Friday night guy really reminded me. He gave me Nestor vibes. Nestor Cortez from the Yankees, man. Mine went blank there for a minute, but Nestor Cortez, man, just the arm slot and his slider and everything, and he wasn't overpowering with the fastball. He worked the count, man. He hit his spots. And that action, man, that lefty action was just there. It was giving us a little trouble, man, there early. So good stuff from Lipscomb. I was very pleased. I thought this was Auburn's toughest series. The arms that Auburn had to face, and this team could absolutely swing it, man. They can swing it with the best of them. So they were tit for tat right there with Auburn Saturday and Sunday in all 3 of these games, honestly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, the game 1, I mean, the pitching was phenomenal, Dustin.
Yeah, they're great. And then you have Case and Howell coming in and getting his 200th hit, going 3 for 5, 2 RBIs. And Bobby Pierce is a little dinged up, nothing serious. But I think we've seen that Butch ain't about. If you have any kind of, we're just deep enough to where it's like, hey, we'll rest you. We'll get you ready for SEC play. And the freshman Chris Stanfield comes in and gets 2 hits, 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. So just a good overall team effort. And this is probably the 3rd time I could think of where John Armstrong's come in trouble and got a strikeout to get us out the inning.
Yeah. This goes to show, in my opinion, this goes to show how deep this Auburn team is, man, that you can sit Bobby Pierce due to a hamstring strain, all right, and you have a freshman, a true freshman, and you can plug him in out in left field and say, hey, go out there, big fella. All right, go get after it. We trust you. All right. And then the confidence at the plate, the dude's he's a gamer, bro. He is a gamer. He's out the box, bro. I mean, hey, let me tell you something. The cat hits a ground ball, you better field it and get rid of it because he's scooting down the line. All right. Nothing is safe with Stanfield. And when I saw the starting lineup Friday, I said, hey, it's Stanfield season. But it just goes to show you, man. And like with Coop getting hurt in that Saturday game, just the guys that Auburn can plug in. You can throw a Cam Hill out there. You can throw a Brody Wortham out there, and all these guys, man. Look at second base. We got Green and Moss just sitting there. 2 guys that, I mean, this team's deep, man. And I know a lot of people, some people are really worried about the pitching, the relief pitching and everything, and who's going to be that 3rd guy. But we'll talk about this a little later here in a minute. I think the 3rd guy is starting to show himself, but we will talk about that, Dustin. But, man, just a gutsy win. I know Nate LaRue finally come through. He had a big swing in game 1, and then Stanfield to really break it open for Auburn and give them that insurance late in the innings. I believe it was the 7th when Stanfield broke through and hit that double, man. So really impressive game 1 victory for this Auburn ball club.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And like, again, I think that Lipscomb was like top 55 in RPI and all that. So yeah. And excuse me, the pollen is kicking my ass, and I got something in my throat. But and I'll real quick, I want to throw it as well. You sweep, and you also won. You also won Tuesday night, and Tommy Vell looked good, throwing 4 good innings there. So you go 4-0 on the week, and we've won every Friday. We've won every Friday game so far, right? So you're starting this. You're starting every series off a game up. I mean, you can't ask for much more.
Bro, before we go any further, that 9-1-1 looks it looks so weird, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Like a soccer team.
Yeah, so A&M played into the night last night, and USC has to go home to mama and daddy, and I don't know, man, just weird stuff. I mean, it is what it is. Just the 9-1-1, man, is just it's weird. I keep looking at it, and I'm just like, oh man. But Dustin, let's go to game 2, man. This one we blow a lead, man, and we got to battle back, and then ultimately, Himothy, Mr. Ike, Daddy Ike, whatever you want to call him, superhero, Superman, whatever he is. I mean, the dude is a freaking baseball player, man. He walks it all for us, and we're going to talk about that walk off and just what he's brought. I feel like he's brought a swagger to this baseball team, Dustin, and a confidence to this entire lineup. And for him to be a true freshman, hold up on me now, Mr. Pollen. Come on now, stick with me.
I got you, baby.
But yeah, man, look, Auburn's pitching in game 2 Saturday. The pitching gave up the long ball. Lipscomb struck for 8 of their 11 runs off the long ball, Dustin. And look, Herbert Holtz, man, Lipscomb jumped all over him. All right. The fastball was getting pummeled. All right. From the call and what we could really hear and listen to, it just kind of felt like he didn't have his best stuff. It really felt like his other pitches weren't on, so he was having to rely on his fastball, and he was just leaving it over the heart of the plate, and Lipscomb was taking advantage of that. But Auburn finds a way, Dustin. They find a way, man. They battle back. They're never give up. So just talk a little bit about everything they had to go through in game 2 and somehow finding a way to battle back and get a victory, man.
Yeah, so good start at 9-1-1, but if you're going to look for some things that got to improve, you're going to have to – there's just a couple more arms in this bullpen that got to step up, and there's a couple more guys in this rotation that got to step up. And from everything that I've read and the little bit of post-game pressers that we get in baseball, didn't seem like the staff was too impressed with Herbert Holt. So he's going to get another opportunity at some point to pitch, and he's going to have to bounce back. But 3 innings pitched with 6 hits, 4 runs, and then a guy that's going to get the start Wednesday versus Jacksonville State, so he's going to have to bounce back, is our boy, and we believe in him, Connor Copeland. But he comes in and he only gets 2 outs. He gives up 4 hits on 4 runs. Will Cannon kind of comes in and gives you a chance there. He gives you 2 innings, only gives up 2 hits and 1 run. And here's the thing though. One thing that we've seen consistently is we got the bats. So you even go back to the tie game versus USC, where we blew a 4-run lead 2 different times. The bats are always coming back. And the thing, so Bryson Ware hits a 2-run bomb in the 8th. One, obviously, it speaks to, like we talk about on the basketball side, Mamba mentality. This dude ain't scared of the moment. It ain't nothing. And that's a 2-run shot. Why is that a 2-run shot? Because Ike Irish is patient and he gets on base. He draws a walk. He gets on. And you know what is interesting to me watching Ike bat is that he swings at a lot of the first pitches. Like he's not, but he's still patient. Like he is just something else, man. He is a savant at that plate, and he's just getting started. I can't imagine where this kid's going to be in 2 years. It's
he shouldn't even be at. I'll be honest with you, he shouldn't even be at Auburn. The fact that he's playing college baseball is absolutely insane. All right. The kid should be in the minors right now. He should be at spring training somewhere. He's that good, Dustin. Look, when we had Mikey Matuk on the pod, man, he compared the SEC. He said, look, it's equivalent to AA baseball. Right. He said that's how good the conference is. All right. And Ike Irish is a true freshman, and he's doing these things in this conference, and look, we haven't even started SEC play, but the teams that we have played, Indiana isn't a pushover. USC isn't a pushover. We saw that Lipscomb is, out of all 3 of them, probably the most well-rounded baseball team that we've played, and can really, really do some things late in the season. I definitely think they will be competing in the tournament, man. 100%. They're a damn good club, and Ike Irish just keeps showing us, man. He keeps showing us, and he's a hell of a baseball player, man. But one guy out of the pen that I kind of want to see step up, Dustin, is it's got to be Chase Isbell, man. It's got to be. That's a guy that we were really leaning on. We were
Yeah.
expecting to see him come in because we were seeing him last year on the back end of the season, man, and it just hasn't been there this year. I'm not really sure, what's going on there, but he just doesn't feel like he has his best stuff. And then we haven't seen Tommy Sheehan, man. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it's an arm thing. I'm not sure. But hopefully we get to see Tommy bounce back and get to see him get back in there. I know in the Indiana series, which is his only appearance, I believe.
Yeah.
He got he didn't get touched up because he walked everybody, but man, it was a rough day for him. So hopefully we can get him back and those guys can step up for us and help this pitching staff out, man, because that was really it. Look, everybody was they were absolute hoopers in game 2 at the plate. This offense is absolutely rolling, Dustin.
Yeah.
And you look at it 1 through 9, man. Everybody can hit the baseball, it's a fully complete lineup, man, from top to bottom. And that always gives you a puncher's chance, in my opinion. Auburn always has a chance this year because they hit the baseball so well. It showed in game 2, man.
Yeah, Cole Foster goes 3 for 5. Gets a walk as well on that. Ike's 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Chris Stanfield, again, he has 2 hits Friday night. Comes in with 2 hits Saturday night.
Yep.
And think about that. You got 2 true freshmen here, one going 3 for 4, and then one going 2 for 5. Like, it's so, and then, like I said, Cole Gore. So just like I mentioned before on our last time we talked about this team, bro, it's a nice blend too of veterans and young guys. And I like the culture behind the scenes, and you guys will see. You'll see soon why we kind of had a little bit of insight into that. So I'm just excited. I'm just really excited for this team overall, and I think that in a game like this, it just shows you like this team has every win this weekend was a come from behind win. So the intangibles, and then it's good too. It got to the point with basketball up until the Tennessee game where we felt like it started to pile on. Like, man, we get in these close games and then it's, oh, shit, here we go again. You're waiting on the other shoe to drop. What this baseball team is doing in these close games is they're pulling it out every time. So that can be the opposite effect. It can pump in this belief of we're down 3 runs with 2 innings to go. This ain't nothing. That's only going to lead you into a positive mindset going forward in the SEC play.
I love it, man. And we got a tough one to kick SEC play off with, but we got a big series this weekend to get ready for SEC play, get healthy. We play 2 midweek games this weekend and then a 3-game set on the back end. So 5 games in 6 days for the Auburn Tigers. This is crucial right here. Hopefully we can get healthy and some guys can get some quality innings. I know Gonzo coming in and everything out the pen this weekend. That'll be big. Get him back ready for the start of SEC play. But man, let's talk about game 3. All right. Let's scoot on over here to game 3. This, in my opinion, was the Zach Crotchfeld coming out party. Okay. He made one mistake, Dustin. Auburn wins the baseball game 4-3. Bryson Ware was huge. But man, Zach Crotchfeld and Hayden Murphy, let's be honest. Hayden Murphy was big coming in relief. 2 young guys. And you love to see it, man. Zach Crotchfeld was a guy that I kind of felt like coming into the season. He was highly touted, and I felt like he would eventually take over that game 3 role. And look, what was his stat line? Let's see. He threw 4 innings, gave up 3 hits and 2 runs, man. Like I said, he made one mistake. All right. He gave up a bomb. That was it. And then you had Hayden Murphy. He gave up 1 run, 3 hits, and 1 2/3, man. I thought he pitched phenomenal. And then Parker Carlson with a huge K in the 6th, man, to help Hayden get out of that jam, man. Parker coming in, that was big for the Auburn Tigers. That really kept things in hand right there within reach for Auburn. And then Bryson Ware strikes late, man. Like I said earlier, what can't this guy do right now? He's a freaking superhero. The dude is, call him Homelander, because he can't be stopped, Dustin. I don't know, man. Dude's insane. Bryson Ware is absolutely seeing it. But two guys that I do want to shout out real quick, Dustin. In this game 3, man, in that 8th inning, there was 2 outs, nobody on, and Justin Kirby and Ike Irish find a way on base, man. Justin Kirby comes up, he hit a double, and he hits the double, and then Ike comes up and walks. And that sets it up to get Bryson to the plate to get the big 3-run home run. Auburn was down 3-1 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th, and that is how it happened. Bryson Ware strikes late. So, man, look, Crotchfelt stuff was there. I thought he pitched damn well. I'm super excited about him going forward in this pitching rotation. I really do think he's going to take the grasp of that starting role, man. I was super impressed with him.
Yeah, I think he's the third guy. I mean, do we even know? Right now, we only know he might be the 2 guy. As I say that, I'm like, well, damn, who's the second guy? I mean, our first guy hasn't thrown in a couple weekends, so I don't know. But I feel good about him from everything. And here's the thing I like watching him throw is I like the passion he plays with on the mound. You know, I like that energy. I like that, just – I don't know. KD Johnson's not the best comparison, but emotional. Wears it on his sleeve. I love that. It's fun to watch. It's a nice change up.
It's like he's got that dog mentality, bro. Like he's got something. He plays with a little passion, a little heart. I like that. You're right.
Yeah, SEC play. Say you're at Alabama, bases loaded, 2 outs. You need that. You need that juice. He's not going to fold up. And when you talk about Hayden. If Isbell's going to be struggling, Hayden, Parker Carlson, somebody's got to be that guy to step in. And we made the comparison before about at the beginning of the season last year, no one had Mason Barnett pegged as a draft pick. You do when you get your opportunity, it's time to step up. And Butch has been saying that all season. I'm going to let the lineup make itself. I'm going to let the rotation make itself. So I think that Zach Crotchfeld is saying, I'm the guy. He's making that move himself. And Hayden, have a couple more good outings for us because we need some of these guys out in the bullpen to be consistent. And the same way Saturday night, looking at the on the offensive side, again, like you mentioned, Kirby. First off, shout out to Kirby for finally getting hits that are non-homers, and they're still doubles and triples. Like he's still raking, right?
We said it would come. We said it would come. We told people with the 218 and everything was like, oh well, yeah, him hitting the bombs is impressive. But look. The guy's gonna hit, man. This was a guy that hit above 300 at Kent State before he transferred to Auburn. The dude is a freak of nature, man. He was a damn All-American, so cut him some slack. The 218 will pick up, and he showed you this weekend against the best pitching staff that Auburn has went against this year. So kudos to him.
Yep, and then again Sunday, John Armstrong is solid again, and then shout out to Bruce Pearl. Bruce Pearl comes on the broadcast, which was cool and nice to hear.
Yeah,
and he said, "Hey Andy, I got to get out of here because I got to go down there and yell at the umpires, and I got to get out of here and get out because once I get out of here, we're going to come back and this BP called it, and." It happened. So appreciate Bruce Pearl putting that positive energy out there. And I'm, if he ever wants to just come hang out on some of these radio broadcasts, I love to hear him. So just overall, man, just a good sweep. Like I said, 3 straight come from behind wins. I mean, at this point, it's like when Bryson, this is the thing about it, bro. When Bryson was at the plate Sunday, my floor of my expectations were he's going to get on base. Like at the very least, he's going to walk. Mm-hmm. And you're obviously thinking he might put this thing over the fence, and he did exactly that. So we're getting to this point to where it's like, man, we've seen, we're 11 games in now. We have sample sizes. We can look at these things and say these guys are doing this. Are they going to bat around 600 throughout SEC play? Probably not. But let's say it drops down 150 points. Let's say it drops down 120 points. Like. These guys are just some of these guys we got, man, are just raking. And like Pierce gets hurt. Stanfield comes in the outfield. You get a guy on base, you need a crucial run. Let's put in Josh Hall. The outfield depth. like you mentioned, the depth at second base. So there are things that we can look at now. We've played enough games to look at and say, man, I'm really excited about this. And if you look at some of these polls, still not getting a whole lot of love. Some polls more than others. Baseball's kind of weird about that. But I promise you that this Auburn team and those guys in that locker room take note of the I guess lack of attention, lack of love that they're getting, and they're making a note of it.
Absolutely, man. And look, let's go back to Bryson. Now you see why USC walked him. All right. They were late. They were late in the tie game, man. You see why USC walked him in that crucial situation. They said, "No way, we're pitching to number 8, Mr. Bryson Ware." So kudos to this Auburn baseball team, man. A big time sweep, battling back, facing some adversity. There was a lot to grow on this past weekend, man. A lot to really dig down and find out what you're really about. Some young guys stepped up, some veteran guys step up, and it was just a complete team effort. And yes, I'm gonna stand on that hill, man. I'm gonna die on that hill, and that is what I love about this Auburn baseball team is the fact that they are so deep. They can beat you in many different ways. And just so happens one night when the pitching staff is not on, their offense picks it up and carries them. So I think this is a hell of a baseball team. I think they can be special. Mm-hmm. And I think, I'm not going to come out and say anything crazy like Omaha just because, it is super, super difficult to get to Omaha, Nebraska. So I do think that this Auburn baseball team will be in the running to make a deep run in the tournament this year. I will say that. So definitely not going to finish where people projected you to finish. I do not believe that. So Dustin, man, just, a little bit about the games coming up this weekend. I know you're going up to Auburn to catch the games in the series, man. Just talk a little bit about that. What do you expect to see? What are some guys that you really want to focus in on and hey, maybe holler at a guy or two,
Well, I'll tell you what, it better not rain. It's looking like it might rain Friday. I'm sorry, guys. It better not rain. And if we win Thursday, we're going to be watching basketball. If we win in basketball Thursday, I'm going to be watching a basketball game and a baseball game at the stadium at the same time. Mm-hmm. But, man, I'm obviously haven't been to Auburn since the Western Kentucky football game. So, miss home, ready to go home for sure. Fired up. And just as a week as a whole, I want to see Gonzo this weekend. I want to see Gonzo look good. I want to see him pitch just to relieve my angst. Everyone is saying it's all okay. It's all okay. And I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying if you're hurt in the spring and you couldn't throw, and then I see you throw one time an opening weekend and haven't seen you since, excuse me, being a little concerned. So I want to see Gonzo go, and I want to, hopefully he looks good. Just Bobby, Cooper, all these guys that are banged up, like you said, I want to see them get healthy. And and it's funny because I avoided going to the Indiana series because it was freezing cold. And apparently this weekend it's going to be in the 40s again. So I'll have my hoodie and my beanie to watch a baseball game in March, which I think is ridiculous.
Well, that's awesome, man. Look, I hope you have a hell of a time up there. I hope you enjoy it. Sure. Yeah, man, a lot of great people up there, a lot of diehard Auburn fans. Fill it up, Auburn fans. Fill it up. Get in there, sell it out, and cheer this baseball team on. Get behind them. Get over to the NIL club. Donate whatever you possibly can to help this NIL collective for this baseball team. I have subscribed to that to help this baseball team. Just give them anything I possibly can, man. So get over there and do that. I know it's big for these guys. I know they're just brand new to it. It just come out at the end of last week. So I know they're excited about that. There's a lot of positivity around the program right now, and I think things are just soaring for the Auburn Tigers in the baseball department, Dustin. But before we get out of here, man, I'm going to leave you with your last words, your final thoughts, man, and a hell of a show tonight.
Yes, sir. You see it right there on the bottom of the screen. I want to shout out to the Auburn ladies tennis team for kicking Alabama's ass for the third time in a row. We see you,
Yeah.
ladies. And Rammer Jammer, Yellow Hammer, go to hell, Alabama. Anytime we beat Alabama in anything, I'm going to get on here and talk shit about it. So, war damn Eagle.
Love that, Dustin. Love that, man. So, hey, with that being said, we appreciate each and every one of you for joining us. We thank each and every one of you. If you can, please go subscribe to the show. We appreciate each and every one of you who like the show, comment on the shows. We will interact. We will respond. If you can, go over to Apple podcast and leave us a 5-star review. Leave us a written review if you can, and hop over there to Spotify and leave us a review there as well. So we appreciate each and every one of you. If you have any questions, hit the DMs. They're always open. We always respond. We love talking to the fans out there, and we will answer anything and everything related to Auburn sports. So with that being said, we're going to hop out of here. We enjoyed it. War damn Eagle. We will catch y'all on the next one. We're out.